Ooh, what is this? What's up guys, welcome back to another review. This time it's the Aman Kyoto. As you've seen, that was an Oscar-worthy reenactment of my excitement for Aman Kyoto when I first found out that's finally opening in November 2019. It's a property that's been in the works for a long time for the Aman Group. I think nearly 20 years in the works for them. Let's just say that it is. And I've known about it since 2017, so needless to say, I was super excited when it was finally opening. Like myself, many of my clients are Aman junkies, so I knew everyone was curious about it. I wanted to be among the first to visit. It just so happens that my mom has never been to Japan, so being the good son that I never was, I wanted to take her to Japan to see, who's this? Maybe later. I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to take her to Japan to see Aman Tokyo and Aman Kyoto. And before I knew it, this ended up being a family trip, so I invited my aunt and uncle as well. My main focus for the trip was to spend time with my family, and I really didn't get to do much vlogging or shooting the property as I had hoped. Nonetheless, I have a few clips. Hopefully you can take a look just to give you a different insight and lens into the property aside from seeing the marketing materials on the website. And then after that, we can come back to it and I'll wrap up this video with my thoughts on the property and some of the pros and cons and if it's the right fit for you. Just woke up, still pretty tired. And one of the reasons I love staying in hotel is, well, on this trip I have my family with me. So super nice to just wake up. I'm getting my emails done. And while they're still asleep and getting ready, the team's already here preparing breakfast for us. Let's get the lights on. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so those are the things that I guess it's a small gesture, but just things that I really enjoy on family trips. Like it's super convenient. Everyone wakes up and breakfast is ready and you can just enjoy and have a good conversation. Having a suite with a dining room and the kitchen certainly makes that even more fabulous. All right, time to grab a bite. Our Aman friends just got us a little evening treat. Here, a little gift. I think it's their specialty sake here in Kyoto, and also some cups. One thing I love about Japan is just even the smallest things are packed so nicely and appropriate for the season. Let's take a look at this. Sake cups. Check this out. My Aman Kyoto sake cups with some gold leaves in there. Pretty special, right? Wow. All right, just finished our stay here at Aman Kyoto. We're packing up and heading to the Park Hyatt Kyoto today. I wanted to show you guys the room a bit more before our departure. Normally I would do this at the very beginning of the stay so everything is clean, so excuse the mess. Let's take a walk. This is a 2-bedroom suite setup. It is one of 2 2-bedroom suites they have on property, and this is the second highest category. We are perched on the highest point of the resort. I'm actually sharing a room with my mom, which means we have 2 twin beds set up here. For anyone traveling with family or children, you can get a good sense of what that would look like. This bedroom is basically the same setup as all the other rooms, from the entry-level room to the highest room category. It's a really nice setup, super clean, lots of light. The view is different because we are in the suite, so we have the best view at the resort. If you're in the other room accommodations, you have basically garden views to terrace, and then some are facing the forest and river, I think. Plenty of closet space, So all this can be hidden. And you have your mini bar, which, like Aman Tokyo, only the alcoholic beverages and the juices are chargeable. Everything else is complimentary and restocked daily. Speaking of which, I need some water. Changed my mind. I'm on vacation. I'm gonna go for a Coke, the special Kyoto Coke. And more closet space on this side. Like I said, it's done so well. Everything is hidden, but if you slide the doors open, you will see a ton of space. And of course, my mess. I haven't packed yet. One of the things I've mentioned and I love is the universal outlets that they have here. And also they have both types of USB ports, which I'm not seeing at any hotels yet. So this is brand new. And of course, all the buttons are discreet and so well done. If I were to slide this door open, it actually looks into the bathroom. The bathroom is probably almost as big as the bedroom itself. Plenty of space for two people to share and put their items across. Check out this tub. It is huge. Pretty sure I can fit 3 of myself in here. Let's do a test. Yeah. Anyway, and the shower is of course huge. The floor is heated throughout the entire bathroom. So that's the bedroom. And what's nice about it is the 2-bedroom suite is actually identical in terms of the bedrooms. So if you're traveling with family and friends, you don't have to fight over who gets the master. They're both identical and they're both phenomenal rooms. That's a plus. If you're booking a 1-bedroom suite, I think what they actually do is they just close off one of the bedrooms. What's nice about that is you actually get the full living space and the tatami room and the dining room and the kitchen, even though you're just paying the rate of 1-bedroom suite. Let's move on to the main event, the actual suite living room. Here's a half bath and powder. Hello, toilet. And this is what I've been using, so you can see, a bit messy. Here is the main living room. Well, I guess it's the only living room. Actually, that is not correct. The tatami is kind of a living space. This is it, very comfortable. And unlike Tokyo Aman, this one does have a bit more texture. Love the design here because it's done by Kerry Hill, who did Aman Nimu and Aman Tokyo as well. So there is a bit of continuity between the hotels, but you can definitely tell there are different intricacies between each one of them. We've been enjoying hanging out here and just relaxing. Tons of space. You don't feel cramped. Perhaps my favorite room in here is the tatami room. It gives you such a sense of place here being in Japan and Kyoto. This has been my office. Catch up on emails and dealing with my clients while I'm traveling. So I've really appreciated this space. I can totally enclose this. Ooh. We have a kitchen here that you can slide the door closed. And of course, the purpose of this kitchen is not for you to make and cook your own meals, but for the butler team or your private chef to come in and set up. Plenty of space to arrange things and a private door, of course, for the team so they don't have to intrude. All right, hopefully those clips did not give you vertigo like it did for me. I apologize. That being said, let's talk about the setting of Aman Kyoto. The resort itself is 30 minutes away from central Kyoto, and that's a pro or con depending on the person you are and the nature of your trip to Kyoto. Being 30 minutes away from central Kyoto means that you're in this exclusive area, which is what Amans are really about and why I love Aman so much. And I often joke with the clients that if it's not a difficult Aman to get to, it's not a proper Aman. Unless it's the city Aman, then of course, in that case, location is key. Even though it's 30 minutes away from central Kyoto, it is actually nearby one of the most sought after tourist spots in Kyoto, the Golden Temple. Aman Kyoto is actually only a 20-minute walk from the resort to the Golden Temple, whereas most people are taking taxis or buses to come in and see the temple. So that's a nice bonus. We actually really enjoyed taking one afternoon just walking to the temple and back. A nice leisurely walk through the neighborhoods. It was super awesome. When you're doing research, one of the questions you're always asking yourself is, what room should I choose, right? So let's talk about the rooms and accommodation. Typically, Amans are known for having individual pavilions or villas, standalone rooms basically, right? But for this property, it's not. They basically have 4 different locations. You have rooms near the entrance of the resort, you have rooms along the main path of the resort, and you have rooms tucked in the back of the resort, which becomes the highest category of standard rooms. The suites that we had were perched at the top of the hill. Those are the best option at the resort because it's the most private and it's the largest of them all. There are only 2 suites, so supply is very low and demand is high. One thing that's a bit odd about the accommodation is that it's a duplex setup. So you have an upper and a lower floor, which is something that I don't usually see at Aman resorts. The only other Aman resort I've seen like this is maybe Aman in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Given that they have so much land here, I'm not sure why they designed it this way, but I'm sure there's a good reason. My recommendation to clients is actually to either stay at the entry level room, which is by the entrance, or the room at the back of the resort that gives you the most privacy, or you can get one of the 2 suites, and that will obviously be the best option for you. The rooms along the main pathway are fine and they have the most direct access to the main pavilion and the fireplace. However, it does afford the least amount of privacy. In the evenings, if your lights are on and your curtains are not closed, people can walk by, and at certain angles they may be able to see into your rooms if your rooms are on the lower floor. So if you're staying in the mid-tier rooms, I would request an upper floor room for sure. So those are the negative things about the rooms and its setup. Now, things I really love about the room is that it's done so tastefully, as you would expect from Kerry Hill. It does remind me of Aman Tokyo a bit as well, and Amanimu. You can see that there's a DNA that's throughout all 3 properties and that they're sibling properties, but at the same time they are different and they do have individuality. Something I really loved, and as soon as I stepped into our suite, I knew I wasn't in Amman and I was in Japan. So you always have that sense of place when it comes to an Amman resort, and I really appreciate it. And of course, my favorite thing about visiting Japan, especially Amman, is the Japanese toilets. I love Toto toilets. In fact, as soon as we got home from the trip, we ordered a Toto Japanese toilet, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise because the COVID crisis hit, unfortunately, and no one is selling toilet paper in the supermarket. So the resort only has 26 rooms. So at max occupancy, you might only have 52 to 56 guests on property. The resort really is a place for anyone to come and get away and decompress and relax and surround yourself in nature. We really enjoy just walking around the property. As you can see in my clips, the trees were still bright red and orange, and we actually visited in December. So I can only imagine if you were visiting in autumn or spring, what that might look like, especially during cherry blossom. That would be insane. So I definitely have to come back again in the fall or cherry blossom, especially because Laura didn't get to go. So I'll have to take her back. Otherwise, that's a different video. Let's talk about the food. The food was fantastic. They only had 2 restaurants on site. The main living pavilion, where you can get breakfast, lunch, dinner, and afternoon tea, which I must say, this is one of the most extensive afternoon tea setups of any Aman resorts I've seen. Typically, they are more low-key and passive, but this afternoon tea was exquisite. The second restaurant is a fine dining Japanese restaurant, which is located nearby the entrance of the resort. That is a 10 to 13 or 15 course omakase or kasaki. Okay, let's wrap this video up. Should you visit Aman Kyoto, and is this the right property for you, right? And my answer is, I really don't know. If you're looking to do touristy stuff in Kyoto, this really isn't the right place for you to set up camp, unless you have the luxury of staying at Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, or the Park Hyatt Kyoto, which I also visited, for a few nights first, and then come to Aman Kyoto and finish your trip. I think that's actually a better setup because once you're at Aman Kyoto, it really makes sense just to stay on property. And that being said, I think 3 nights is probably the magic number here until they have the library and the pool built in the gym. The only caveat to that is if you're visiting during autumn season or cherry blossom, I think maybe 4 or 5 nights would be fun because the sitting is so amazing. I do want to mention that both of my clients were super well taken care of by the team. They were both upgraded, and the Aman team is always fantastic. So I have to give a shout out to my Aman friends. Always love sending clients to you guys because you're so good in looking after them. And of course, if you're an Aman junkie like myself, I think you'll just go visit regardless. So in conclusion, it wasn't a perfect property, but we really loved it. We do see why it's such a special project for Aman, and I think I will take Laura back at some point. Hopefully they will have the library and the pool / gym built at some point. In the meantime, if you're nearby Kyoto, or if you're heading to Kyoto, stop by for a visit, even if it's just for 2 or 3 nights. Enjoy the setting, go to the spa for treatment, and enjoy the onsen. That being said, I'm gonna get to maybe working on my Aman Tokyo and Park Hyatt Kyoto videos. Hopefully this will be coming soon, and see you next time. Cheers.